Hello, trading is closed on November 20th, 2020. Today's the 21st. Let's do our disclaimer, then go over our calls. This is my plan for Monday, November 23rd. If we get smartly in the undesired direction, calls kill before they open. Can't guarantee my call is going to be any good. So trade at your own risk. Here's my email. I got a comment, the audio isn't as good as it used to be. You're right, and I apologize for that. Chicago winters are too cold for me, so I'm in Florida, and I forgot to bring my better microphone with me. Everything is written out, and I hope that the written analysis will suffice for those who have trouble hearing what I say. Let's go over our calls. We looked for pattern with the early high. This is the early high, and Monday's pattern also has the early high. We said Thursday we had an all-day rally which didn't accomplish anything because we couldn't overtake any of these highs and couldn't even overtake these lows. We said unless we gapped and took out these highs fast, we should see lower prices. So that worked. We now have the opposite pattern. We had an all-day drop, and we couldn't take out any of these lows. And taking them out in the last 5 minutes isn't good enough for me because smart money is not trading in these last 5 minutes. So all we have is a retracement of this last advance. Now that doesn't mean the decline's over. We have to continue it if this isn't just a correction of this up move. If you're going to stop here and you're not going to take out any of these lows, this up move isn't over. So if you're a bear, you want to keep on dropping. It's going to be kind of hard to do. We have a higher MEJT target of 3577.54. And unless we gap down smartly, that's my call for Monday. We also have a wall into the close, straight line drop, no pullback of any kind. We even closed we didn't close, we traded much under this in the after hours market. To me, it's a sign of panic selling. Get me out at any price. And typically when you have panic selling like this, the professionals are forced to buy, and these professionals usually buy at a price where they know they'll get their money back and a lot more very quickly. So this is actually positive action. This isn't a rally which didn't accomplish anything. This is a drop which didn't accomplish anything. It isn't a guarantee that the drop's over. But so far it hasn't accomplished anything, and if it's going to accomplish anything, we really have to keep dropping right at Monday's open. Now that isn't impossible because drops on Friday nearly always carry through into Monday's open, so it certainly is possible. But if instead we gap up, and particularly if we gap up over this high, and preferably over this one, which isn't impossible because we have a higher target, that would mean all this selling accomplished nothing and the rally is ready to continue. I'd probably look for a leg pretty similar to this one. So Monday's open should be critical. We have conflicting signals. We have a drop on Friday, which nearly always carries through, but we have panic selling, which didn't really accomplish anything, and that tends to be rejected quickly. So more likely than not have a gap in one direction or the other on Monday. During the day, MEJT, while we're dropping here, gave a buy signal, and that's already worked. It now says this drop is not the real thing. Our target for Monday is 3577.54. This is just a reminder of our last call. We looked for lower prices, which we got. You know, these I changed and it didn't save them. I don't know. I have the calls for next week on here someplace. We'll go over them. Sometimes TradeStation doesn't save what I write. It's too bad. Well, we're still looking for a 250-point drop from this line, but that doesn't mean we drop in a straight line, and this line keeps going higher. So with a stop over this line, which is now around 3,700, you can't really rely on this for Monday's trade. Well, here's my count. I may have to change this again because I was looking for a wave blue C down, which is similar to this wave blue A down, and this is not it. It's possible this is A and we're making a B here with a consolidation. There could be a wave going up. This could be A of B, B of B could be a consolidation, and then C of B could still be coming, because if we were going to drop, we want to see more of a drop than I'm seeing. I want a real impulse, and this isn't it. As far as the short-term pattern is concerned, we have an A, we have a B, right now we have a 61.8% retracement of the last rally up, and it's possible to count this as wave A down and an A and a B, and then one more wave up to complete dark blue B, and then have another drop down, and that should complete wave red C. We're in the time of the year when the market tends to be positive. It doesn't mean you have to go up in a straight line. But this decline just isn't as impulsive as I want it to be. And right now we have a straight line drop to support, and either you gap under this support or the line wins. Well, these are the calls for next week. I'll have to copy them on the other page. Of course, Thursday the market's closed. We have mixed signals, so these rules will apply. Let's go over everything. Monday's pattern has the early high. Doesn't mean you won't get down. Typically it's a rally day. It could be a strong rally day with a final hour high. Failure, always possible. It's a straight line drop. Let's go over the mixed signals. It's positive. We have a wall into the close. Panic selling. We have a day-long rally which couldn't undercut prior lows, and breaking them in the last 5 minutes doesn't count because big money is not selling at that time. When big money was around, those lows held. And when the lows hold then, and then the great unwashed comes in and breaks them, that's really the wrong way Corrigans who are acting and not the smart money. We're also at a 61.8% retracement of the last leg up. We have a higher MEJT target. So all these are positive things unless we get down sharply. I look for that MEJT target, and that's about 20 points higher. But it is negative. We trended down on the Friday. Nearly always, not always, nearly always it carries through in Monday's open. If it doesn't carry through, if we gap up smartly instead, it's quite bullish for the short term, even though such a move higher eventually should retrace. Hole in the wall gaps eventually fill. But if we gap up, and I'm not saying for certain if we will or we won't, but if we gap up smartly, Monday could be a strong day higher. Sentiment indicators remain compatible with a significant top. be aware that the Thanksgiving week usually is a bullish week, and we're not seeing the kind of impulsive move down I thought possible. We still should sell off before resuming the rally. You can't ignore all those negative sentiment indicators, too many bulls. But resuming the rally at some point, rather than entering a long bear market, is becoming more plausible here. So I'm going to pay particular attention to the open. I'm looking for higher prices, probably with gapping up, with this target being hit. But if we don't do that, if we gap down smartly instead, the whole idea is killed. In fact, if this low falls, I'm not certain we're going to get such a rally, although I'm not really carving that in stone. We have mixed indicators, but more likely than not, there's a very good chance we gap up and reverse this whole drop, and we could have a strong move higher. Again, if we gap sharply down, the call's killed, and that is today's call.